Hello there, friends. Duke of Haze here. Thank you once again for allowing me in your homes. This is currently editing Duke. It's April 1st, 2025. And from this point forward, I'm going to be a salty Sam in regards to Monster Hunter Iceborne. So I hope you can forgive the rage. This was still my first playthrough, and it was not a fun time. So hope you can forgive. I get slightly better in subsequent playthroughs, but yeah, please consider subbing. I think like 90% or something like that is not subbed every time they come to watch my videos. So if you like my weird style, I'd greatly appreciate a sub for that. Thank you. And the last video I have is Shrieking Legiana. Oh, this is the 15 gig one because it's almost an hour long. I mean, it wasn't a side quest, it was a main mission, so that's why I did it. Let's speed her up. Yeah, it wasn't a side quest, it was a main mission, so I had to make sure to get footage of it because I don't want to not have footage of it, you know. I need to have footage of it. And this is every single time I hunt a major, well, not really, because I didn't defeat Velkhana, I just repelled Velkhana, so it's not like there are new options for me to craft. And even then, I think my armor's kind of set. I'm gonna have to take a look at like all the other things I haven't fought in Master Rank to see if they drop anything I'm gonna want. It's me trying to click on the supply box, but you know, I forget that I'm going here, so I have to get my hot drink, my delicious pepper drink. I constantly run out of those because Shrieking Velkhana, it's not Shrieking Velkhana, Shrieking Legiana. It's a new variant of monster that you have to fight. A Shrieking Legiana. It's just its ice attacks are more powerful. Hold on, I should be reading this, so give me a second now. Hold on. Just because I took the time to push the button slowly so I could read it out. So give me a sec now. Very startling. You're still here? I thought you would have left. The weak flee the strong. It is nature's course. But it is also instinct to stand and fight. Oh, okay. Okay, let's put it back on ×2 speed. Yeah, her dialogue's gonna be sped up, so forgive. If I went back and rewound every single time where something she was saying needed to get caught on camera, it would take us a long ass time to finish the video. So if I keep it at a consistent ×2 speed, it's still gonna take us about 30 minutes to watch this whole video. So I need to get the ball rolling, as it were. But I don't know if it's kind of like, not really. I don't know. It's weird because we fought the Viper Tobikadachi, but it's not the same as an altered monster, alternate form monster, because you get well, I did anyway. I got an achievement for defeating my first one, the Shrieking Legiana. And Shrieking Legiana, like, you know, I got used to fighting Legiana a lot because I had to grind out its materials for a weapon I was crafting, just because that was my main mission. One of my main missions was to create all the weapons. I don't know, that was in the base game. I don't know if I want to do it for Iceborne, just because, again, every fight is so long and tedious that I don't think I want that goal anymore. And my Datura Maestro is fully maxed out. Excuse me. I don't know why I've been so phlegmy lately, dude. Not the handler. Hey, handler. But yeah, I kind of wanted to finish, but I get the feeling there's going to be... I'm sure there's going to be a couple more things that we're going to have to do. Like, the latest mission is me having to hunt a Fulgur Anjanath, so that's where we're going to pick up today, live. I was just kind of hoping that this was going to be the end, and it wasn't quite yet. It looks like a Legiana, but there's something different about it. It just has more icicles on it, and its ice attacks look more extreme. So I'm guessing that the Everstream evolves these monsters, and that's kind of what Velkhana's doing, like bringing back Everstream magic to make stronger enemies. I'm guessing that's what's going on. We'll see if my guess is correct. And so if you've ever fought a Legiana, then you'll get used to it. Because its attack patterns are pretty similar to Legiana. The main difference is it's not in the air as long as Legiana. Like after 3 or 4 attacks, it'll jump back down. I feel like base game Legiana, like if you didn't have a flash pod, you were kind of asking for pain. And with this guy, it's like by the time I use it, like I said, in Iceborne, it feels like 1, they're not stunned for as long, and 2, if you use it like in consecutively, like 2 flash pods, and he's not enraged, it'll stun him, but it won't knock him out of the air. Like they put in all of these fail safes to make the monsters more tedious to fight. I have no other way of describing it. It's just every single fight, the monsters have a crap ton of health. They're hyper aggressive, so they do long strings of attacks before you can counterattack. See, I hit him with it that time. He doesn't fall out of the air just because I'm guessing there's a cooldown associated with knocking them out of the air like that. So, I don't know. I'm guessing there is, though. Cool thing is that Legiana's weak to poison, so my poison ticks deal full damage. When I saw Barioth, I thought that he was going to be more of a factor than he was. I was really annoyed because fighting Barioth is way different compared to fighting a Legiana, just because they are hyper fast, hyper aggressive, deal butt tons of damage. Like, I'd rather fight Shrieking Legiana any day over Barioth. Barioth, that's the first real test of whether or not you have the patience for what the game is going to ask of you, in my personal opinion. It's going to ask a lot of time of you, and the enemies just take forever to kill. There's no other way about it. They take forever to kill, hyper aggressive, long attack strings. I guess those are tied together. They're hyper aggressive, which means their attack strings are hella long. So you'll go minutes, maybe. Minutes is maybe a little too harsh, but definitely a minute or 2, we'll say, where you're just unable to attack, because if you go in and try to hit him, you're just going to get counterattacked and take butt tons of damage. So that's every single fight pretty much. Shrieking Legiana is more like a traditional old world, not old world, we're still in the new world, base game fight. Except, he still has a butt ton of health, and it still takes a while to kill him. This is me kind of exploring the area, and instead of going directly to him, just because, this is technically a new area of the Hoarfrost Reach, so I was kind of looking at every little thing that was up here. But, did I check? No, I guess I didn't. I wonder if that's a camping location. I didn't bother to check that little outcropping over there. I'm going to have to remember to do that whenever we get back into it today. Wish I had some Post-its. I need to buy those so I can put it down to remind me. But yeah, Shrieking Legiana is just like fighting regular, except it deals more damage, I guess. Its attack patterns are slightly different, but they're kind of similar at the same time. The main one being he does this landing attack that does a lot of damage, so you kind of have to be on the lookout for when he's going to land from being in the air, because if you does it, even with all my ice res, it does about half my health. 40% of my health, not quite half, but still a big chunk. So I saw him sleeping, and I didn't realize that this was regular Legiana, so I started a fight with regular Legiana, and I'm like, wait a minute. You're doing regular attacks. You're just like regular Legiona. See what I mean? Dude gets right up. Whereas before, like, maybe it's them thinking, oh man, our game isn't difficult enough, because like you could cheese flying enemies hardcore with flash pods. I don't want to say cheese because it's a mechanic of the game. Like that's just a function of the game. And when it gets to the point where developers punishing you for playing the game the way you were taught to play the game by the developers, that's when I get like annoyed. Because it's like, oh yeah, you know, use a flash pod to knock them out of the air. That's a legit strategy that you use against flying enemies. And then it gets to the point where, oh, okay, that just doesn't work anymore. So now you have to dodge for like 3 minutes until they decide to land. And it's just, the only reason I could think of for doing that is just artificial difficulty. It's like, okay, they're going to be having souped up weapons and armor from the post-game activities, post-story activities. And so we need it to be challenging enough for those players. But if you're going right into Iceborne, like right after finishing the base game, like Bonbaro is a huge leap. Like Giratidos is not too bad. Like the real first challenging enemy that you deal with, in my personal opinion, was Bonbaro, just because he hits really hard. His attacks are like difficult for me to dodge. But like still then not impossibly difficult. I was able to beat Bonbaro, I'm pretty sure anyway, on our first try. And then you go back to Astera for a while. I don't remember why specifically. Oh, it's to see the new variants of monsters. Like Nightshade Paolumu, the Coral Puke Puke. I think that was it, right? Out of those two. Yeah, I think it was. And so that you had to come back to Astera, and this is all going to be in future videos, obviously. But you had to fight the Nightshade Paolumu, and its main thing is that it throws sleep dust at you the entire time you're fighting it. So if you have sleep res maxed out, you can just completely ignore that part of the fight. And then it's just like fighting Paolumu, except with slightly different attack patterns. Coral Puke Puke actually did decent chunks of damage. Instead of using poison, he shoots water out of his mouth and his butt. He wasn't too bad, it's just the main thing is dude just has a lot of HP. Same thing with Paolumu. It just takes a while to fight them. That's where a lot of the tedium comes from, is the fact that these dudes have so much health and attack that you're hyper punished for being aggressive, and regardless of how perfect you play, the fights just last so damn long and you just become mentally exhausted. At least I do. I don't know how other people feel about it. But at this point I ran out of hot drinks, and so slowly but surely my like max stamina gets reduced. I think next time I get the ability to fast travel, I go and get more of them. But basically this is all you do. You like 3 attacks, or you wait for an attack that leaves them open, like this one. But I had to use my window to put on my Vitality Cape. Again, using that move is hella risky. I don't usually like doing that, and I usually get severely punished for using my swirly attack. As you can see, the Ice Blight is slowly reducing my stamina. That's annoying. But I didn't have enough hot drinks. And then I was about to shoot him into the wall, but stupid regular Legiana knocked me off, and that's what a lot of the fights boil down to. It's like You have to fight a guy, but there's also another guy next to him who's just getting in your way. Like, I saw a lot of people mention that fact that it's like, you know, they just throw two flying enemies at you and it's really annoying, and it's kind of true. Like, Rathalos took me a couple of tries. The new and improved Rathalos, the Master Rank Rathalos, because a major factor in that battle is the fact that Rathian is there, and fighting both of them at the same time is very difficult. There's no other way of putting it. It's annoying, it's tedious, and you don't really have the time to like take care of her, so at least I didn't by myself. When you're playing solo, you have to, you know, manage your time better, because in a group you deal, you know, 4 times the players, you deal 4 times the damage. I don't know if it also soups up the like, I don't know if enemies also get buffed as a result. Like in Diablo, for instance, like if you group up with people, the enemies get stronger to compensate. I don't know if it's like that in this game. But, you know, if you can deal a maximum of 4 times the damage you normally deal, I imagine these fights wouldn't last nearly as long if there's like even one other person. I was hoping that he hit the wall, but he stopped just shy of it, and I was annoyed about that. But yeah, the main thing with this dude was that sometimes regular Legiana's there, and you just have to deal with it. Try to ignore it as best you can. Try to get hits in where you can. That's what all these fights boiled down to, and I kind of called it. Because when I first did Barioth, it's like that came to me. In, you know, it's like, okay, this is what every fight from this point on is going to be. 30-minute slogs. And I was kind of bummed, annoyed about it, because the base game was so awesome, and then Iceborne is just tedious. Like, the base game had tedious fights. Like I said, for me, Ned Gigante did give me trouble. It took me a couple of tries, but I did defeat him on stream, like, 3rd try. All the times off camera that you guys didn't see, there were multiple times where I failed consecutively to Ned Gigante, because dude still does a butt ton of damage. His diving attack, if you don't use a flash pod to knock him out of it, it deals so much damage. If you're literally, like, legit 80% health or less, it'll just one-shot you. Like, unless you put your weapon away and do your dive attack or your dive dodge to give you iframes. Iframe stands for immunity frames. A frame refers to, like, a frame in a movie, like how many each individual movement that you cobble together to give animation its movement, right? Like, that's what a movie is a series of images put together that are moved quickly. And for example, movies are usually like, what is it? Is it like 30 frames per second are movies, or is it like 50 some? I forget. I'm not a movie buff like that, but I learned it once from Red Letter Media, the YouTube channel, but I don't remember. He was asleep, so I thought, oh, that means I can catch him, and it's like, oh, I guess not, so I'll just use this time to attack him. But let me get back to what I was talking about with the frames and stuff. Shit, I don't even remember what I was saying when it came to the frames. Hold on. It'll come to me. I just have to stop and think about what we were talking about before I got distracted with the fight. Even though I should be talking about the fight. I'm gonna have to think about it. Man, I hate when that happens, dude. Yeah, it's not coming to me. Hopefully it will later. I wish I could remember what I was just talking about. Like, I would watch the stream to hear what I was talking about, but I'd have to like rewind it, and I don't really know about all that. I guess I could. Let me see. Let me see what I said. Yeah, there's like no real way for me to like rewind. I thought you could, to be perfectly honest with you. I guess you can't watch a stream in process. That's fine. I thought that you could, but Lord knows I can't. Lord knows I can't, though. I love it, though. I'll just do that. Man, I really wish I could remember why I was mentioning frames in the first place. I'll probably remember it and try to bring it up in a future video or stream. Sorry, that happens to me a lot where I'm on a string of thought and all of a sudden the string gets cut and it's like, oh, well, this sucks. I don't know if it had to do with Rathios and I was talking about Rathalos and Rathian a lot, and just how a lot of what the game becomes is just tedious. Oh, I know. Okay, I was talking about Ned Gigante and your dive dodge attack. Like, if you run with your weapon drawn, your character will, your weapon sheathed, your character will dive. Instead of doing a roll, your character will dive. And while you're doing this dive, as a viewer so helpfully pointed out, you're completely immune to damage for like the entire animation, plus when you're landing and getting up. Like, got a good hit on him right there when he got stunned and knocked down. I hit him good that time. During the frames... Oh, I was talking about iframes. Duh. It's like iframes... I'm pretty sure the I stands for immunity. And frames are the amount that your character is moving after the fact. It's a little complicated for me to try and explain. Obviously, I'm not an animation expert, but... Usually in action games like this, a roll or a dodge gives your character iframes. A brief period of time where the enemy's attack will not hurt you in any way. And so with Ned Gigante, he does this diving attack where he'll growl, rear up on his hind legs, and then he'll fly into the air and dive bomb you. And you can stop that if you're expecting it, like you're waiting for it to happen, and you hit him with a flash pod, then he'll get knocked out of it and won't do the dive attack on you. But I've found personally that for whatever reason I just have such a hard time dodging it without using the leap dodge you get from running and rolling. And so a lot of my losses to Ned Gigante was just because I was not good at doing that, avoiding his dive attack, which did a crap ton of damage. Also, yeah, this is him getting weak enough to the point where we can catch him. Anytime you see them hobbling and flying slow like that, it's you're good to go. I decided to walk slowly so that he could like fall asleep and I could catch him easier, because when they're asleep you can just lay the trap right next to him and it'll catch him. But a lot of my deaths to Ned Gigante were because of, one, I couldn't dodge that attack, and two, he has an attack combo where he looks back at you and then he slashes his claw in like a 270 arc. And so you think you're not going to get hit by it a lot of the time, and you do get hit by it, and it knocks you to the ground. And on top of that, he does a follow-up attack where he slams the ground on top of you that does a bunch of damage. It'll do the rest of your health, because the initial attack does a lot, and then the follow-up attack will just finish you off. I died to that a lot. Just because avoiding the 270 claw attack, it's not quite 360, but it's like 270. Like there's a very specific area that you gotta be to not be hit by it. Very specific area. Oh shit. Oh, enough of the tears. Yeah, part of me feels like that's her grandma. I don't know. Maybe it will be. We'll see if I'm right.
You know, you remind me of myself. Always finding a way to the truth.
No more crying, Sapphire Star.
You're always looking to guide the way. Take a look. More writings from my master's studies. The song, the monster's behavior, they're affecting the ecosystem. Action, the old everworm. I'm out of time. My story ends here.
Songs, the ecosystem, old everworm. Is this about Velkhana? The shard originated from here, meaning Velkhana's nest must be nearby.
You're right. Its home must be here somewhere.
Man, that was a quick recovery.
So, who's in?
I'm in. I want to learn more about Velkhana. Together we can solve this mystery and make history.
That's the spirit.
Well, aren't you a rapping poet who didn't know it?
That monster is growing in power. We can't chase after it now. Let's head back and regroup first.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say like this is just one long ass cutscene. Yeah, see, it's like hunt your first variant monster. Maybe I never did do it.
Short, Velkhana is presently in the Hoarfrost Reach. We're certain.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
So let's just glide over the little spot of trouble I was in and focus on the important matters at hand, shall we?
Don't think you're getting away that easy. After we finish this meeting, you'll stick around for some advice from a concerned friend, all right? That said, those notes you found are definitely worrying. Song, impact on the ecosystem, old everworm. I'm not ready to buy wholesale into some scratches we happen to find on a piece of cloth, but it's all eerily similar to what's going on. Well, at any rate, this is...
Man, I feel hungry.
Be sure to talk to my old man.
Thanks. And be sure not to leave out a single detail, huh?
Break fast isn't for another 3 hours.
We're sure that Velkhana is back in the Reach, then we need to hurry with the weapon shipments from Astera.
About that. Just a bit ago, we received a report that a subspecies of Anjanath was spotted along the route to the landing area.
What? Why didn't you say so? If the weapon transport comes now, they're gonna get trampled. Sorry to ask you this when you've just gotten back, but could you two go out and hunt that Anjanath? Be on the lookout for the transport's arrival. And once your partner's taken care of the Anjanath, lead them here to Legiana.
Roger that. We'll send word if any trouble pops up.
I'm counting on you to bring everyone back safely. Good luck.
Okay, and this was me. I think this is... Yeah, it's pretty much the end of the video. What do I do for 3 minutes? I guess we'll find out. I think I... Oh, this is me picking up all the side quests. I wanted to leave that in just so that... I don't know. Proof that I did it? I'm not quite sure. But there's lots of new quests to be opened up. I didn't get to do many of them yesterday just because I was... What was I doing? Oh, right. Video editing. So a lot of the time I would have taken to do these side quests was eaten up by having to finish that video and have it ready to upload today. I upload, well, I would say every day, but it's hard for me to get these videos out on time by myself, so And, I'm not about to pay an editor for something that I can do myself. It's just, I wouldn't mind paying an editor if I was rich, obviously, or I had enough money to do that thing that I just said. But, as a one-man operation, it takes me, like I said, 3 hours. So I had to do this. All these fights together probably took me 3 hours. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I have to get an episode ready for tomorrow. So that's what I did. And for some reason, the video editing program I use, it's called Caden Live. It has a habit of every time I save a project and then reopen the project, it like makes a 1 hour project like 15 hours long or something. I don't know what's going on there, if I need to download a new version of it, but basically it forces me to do an entire video editing session in one sitting. So because if I try to save it and reopen it, it's basically just a waste of time because it messes up, like the video gets messed up. So those were all the videos I have for you guys.